Welcome to your Tech News Today, where we keep you informed and empowered by giving you the latest tech stories that impact your daily life. It's Thursday, February 21st. I'm Mike James. Coming up in just a bit, password managers aren't as secure as we thought. Facebook keeps a naughty list if you throw shade on them in public. Plus, Google forgot to mention that one of its consumer products has a microphone, and there's a new foldable iPhone? We'll see. And we'll get started in just a moment. First, we'd like to recognize our partners who help make these Commando podcasts possible. All right, our first story is one that's all over the headlines. Today, if you use a password manager, listen up. Actually, if you don't use a password manager, listen up. An independent ethical hacking group, yes, that's a real thing, tested 5 popular password management services and found serious flaws that they say can be targeted if they've had malware attacks. Now, if you don't know what a password manager is, it's technology that lets you save your username and password information in one secure place, so you don't have to memorize hundreds of usernames and complicated long passwords. It runs in the background of your computer or mobile device. The way it works is when you sign into your computer or phone, you log into the password manager with the master password. This is where the ethical hacking group found problems. Apparently, these password managing apps leave master passwords in your computer's memory. So even when the app is locked, the report names LastPass, 1Password, Dashline, RoboForm, and KeePass that all have this security flaw. Now, we didn't see any reports of this actually happening, just a report that it could happen if you don't sign out of your password manager when you're not using your device. Despite the vulnerability, yes, experts say that you should still use a password manager. And just remember, yes, Kim Commando says you still should use a password manager, but just remember to make sure your anti-malware is updated. For more information on this and Kim's recommendations for password managers, just visit commando.com and search for password manager. Now, are you on Facebook's BOLO list? You better hope not. If you've ever hurled an insult at a Facebook employee, including Mark Zuckerberg, you should know that Facebook is probably watching you. This new report from CNBC says Facebook mines out its own products for threatening comments and where those people are located. CNBC says the BOLO list, which stands for Be on the Lookout, contains hundreds of names, including former Facebook employees. Now, this might seem like a good idea if you work at Facebook and worry about it, but it could simply be the story of a company that's protecting its employees. But apparently the bar for making the list can be pretty low. You can make the list if you make any threatening public comments about Zuckerberg or COO Sheryl Sandberg, including a simple F-bomb like F Facebook or F Mark Zuckerberg. Facebook tells CNBC that they do rigorous background checks before anyone gets added to the list, but insiders say the list is, quote, really subjective. Critics of Facebook, and there are plenty, point out that the big brother tech that Facebook uses to locate, track, and mark its critics. If you need more reasons to dump Facebook, head over to commando.com. We've got plenty. Search dump Facebook, and we'll give you 10 reasons to quit right now. Just ahead, Google put a microphone on one of its devices and then forgot to mention it. And parents and grandparents, you're going to want to hear about disturbing YouTube videos that are targeting kids. Right now, let me tell you about our partners at Robinhood. Robinhood is an investing app that lets you buy and sell stocks, ETFs, options, and cryptos, all commission-free. Plus, there's no account minimum deposit needed to get started, so you can start investing at any level, like $10. The simple, intuitive design of Robinhood makes investing easy for newcomers and experts alike. View easy-to-understand charts and market data and place a trade in just about 4 taps on your smartphone. Also with Robinhood, you can learn how to invest in the market as you build your portfolio, discover new stocks, track your favorite companies, and get custom notifications for price movements so you never miss an opportunity to invest. Robinhood is giving listeners of Tech News a free stock like Apple, Ford, or Sprint to help you build your portfolio. Sign up at money.robinhood.com. I did. I love it. I've actually gone up about 10% already. Again, sign up at money.robinhood.com. Money.robinhood.com. All right, how does this happen? How does one of the largest companies in the world, we're talking about Google, make a home security device and then forget to tell you, the consumer, that, oh, by the way, it has a built-in microphone? Well, apparently that is exactly what happened. It's according to Business Insider. Earlier this month, Google announced that its Nest home security system would be getting an update that would let you enable its virtual assistant with a Hey Google command. The only problem? No one who bought the device even knew that it had a microphone. It wasn't listed on the tech specs. Google responded to this by saying the microphone wasn't intended to be a secret. It was an error on their part. Error, in quotes. At least that's what they told Business Insider. All right, if you're a parent or you take care of kids, there's a new YouTube trend that you need to know about. If you use YouTube, you know how it recommends videos based on what you've watched, right? Well, TechCrunch shared a story about a guy named Matt Watson who posted on Reddit that he found videos of kids on YouTube that contain inappropriate comments.
They're providing links to actual child porn in YouTube comments. They're trading unlisted videos in secret, and YouTube's algorithm, through some kind of glitch or error in its programming, is actually facilitating their ability to do this. This is something that a lot of people have been aware of for a long time, and what makes what I've discovered worse is the fact that I can find this wormhole from a fresh, never-before-used YouTube account via innocuous videos within about 5 clicks.
Matt Watson's video had 1.7 million views in the last 2 days, and he says it's the last video he'll ever post on YouTube. Why? Because Matt says YouTube's algorithms help pedophiles find each other. Sick. Matt's video demonstrates how a search for bikini haul, which is a search term women use to shop for bathing suits, that leads you to a highly inappropriate site. Read the comments in these videos and you'll see subcultures sharing inappropriate content, including links to porn and other dark websites. So what can you do? Monitor what your kids watch, read the comments before you share, and if you see anything inappropriate, you want to flag it immediately. YouTube told The Verge that they aggressively enforce these policies. Apparently that's not working too well. A couple of years ago, it wasn't uncommon to see the occasional drone up in the sky. Well, now there are a lot more common, and with more drones comes more potential safety issues, so that means more regulation. And that's why NASA and the FAA have been working on a drone management system for cities over the past couple of years that would, and they quote, safely and effectively manage drone traffic in an urban area, end quote. And it just like it sounds, they're trying to figure out a way to keep drones flying safely in heavily populated areas. Well, now they're in the last stages of testing, and they've chosen to do 2 final testing sites, one around Reno, Nevada, and the other in Corpus Christi, Texas. And that's where they're going to conduct some technical demonstrations like vehicle-to-vehicle communication, along with other important things like collision avoidance and automated safe landing technology. With these tests, NASA wants to come up with ideas for future rules and regulations to keep drones traffic running smoothly. Because, hey, someday soon we'll have competing drones dropping off our Amazon packages along with our restaurant orders, and nobody wants drone traffic jams to slow down our pizza. All right, coming up in just a bit, a hack group named Fancy Bear. And is Apple getting a foldable phone? We'll take a look at that in just a bit. Right now, a quick thank you to our friends who help make these Komando podcasts possible. Well, 2 American think tanks in Europe were the target of hackers, according to Microsoft, and they say they know who it is. Microsoft says the hacking group is Fancy Bear, which is believed to have links with Russian military intelligence. Now, you might have heard of the group before, since they were also connected to hacking the Democratic National Committee back in 2016. Well, this time, hackers went after the Aspen Institute and the German Marshall Fund of the United States sometime between September and December of last year. Microsoft says attackers were using malicious URLs and spoofed email addresses to look real, but were used to upload malware and steal employees' credentials. One Microsoft VP wrote in a blog post that these types of attacks aren't just limited to campaigns, but also extended to think tanks and nonprofits that are often in contact with government officials. The president of the German Marshall Fund said she thinks that they were targeted because they've supported previous efforts to fight attempts by other countries like Russia to undermine democracy. Microsoft didn't say what hackers got away with or if they were even successful, but the system of both think tanks have since been secured. Microsoft also said it was Fancy Bear that tried to hack the U.S. Senate last August, and CNN said in January that the same group also went after another think tank, this time in Washington, D.C. Sounds like someone needs to set up a pretty big bear trap. And from the foldable phone files, Apple filed a patent for a foldable iPhone, and someone created a rendering based on the description. Dutch company Let's Go Digital created renderings of what they think the foldable iPhone will look like. I can tell you it looks flatter, thinner, and more square than the iPhone we know today. When it is folded in half, it's about the size of a candy bar. Expanded, it's the size of a small tablet. Apple is the latest to enter the foldable phone race, joining first to market Royole, which released its foldable phone in December. And of course, Huawei, Samsung, and Motorola have all tested their foldable phones for 2019, which you can see by going to Komando.com and searching for foldable phones. By the way, once you're done listening to our podcast today, do us a favor and let your friends and family know about it. We appreciate that. It helps more people find us. And finally, for today's Komando Kicker, due to the rising levels of greenhouse gas in Earth's atmosphere, Antarctica's ice is becoming more vulnerable to cycles. So what does this mean? Well, over the past billion years in history, Antarctica's ice is more sensitive to the tilt of Earth's axis because it reaches into the oceans, and the warm water means the ice melts faster. If humans don't get emissions under control, even the thickest ice in Antarctica could be vulnerable. But why does the tilt matter? As the Earth revolves around the Sun, it doesn't do so straight up and down. Instead, the Earth is tilted so more sunlight hits different areas of the globe, influencing its climate. According to scientists, Antarctic ice is melting 6 times faster than it did just a couple of decades ago. More fun and interesting facts, just go to Komando.com and search for the Komando Kicker, and that's your tech news today. If you enjoyed it, thank you again for listening. Check out our other podcasts like Komando on Demand, where Kim takes an in-depth look at the digital technologies that affect our daily lives. That's Komando on Demand. It's at podnet.com or, of course, on your favorite podcast player, Android or Apple Podcasts. Just search KOMANDO. We'll see you tomorrow.